Hi, and welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. This is for you if you are ready to finally have a happy and emotionally intimate marriage with your husband so that you can have the happy family life that you've always dreamed of, to bring back the honeymoon phase into your marriage, to grow old together, happy and just deeply in love. And we're going to do it all without talk therapy, couples therapy, or even having your husband heal his inner wounds. Now, I want to make this training really, really valuable in a short amount of time. So, we're only going to talk about three things today. So, number one, what is real emotional intimacy in marital love? Like, what is it? What does it really look like? Number two, what's the real reason why you don't have this right now in your relationship? And I know that you are aching for it. And number three, how can you bring it back? Right? How can you bring back that honeymoon phase? How can you do it right now in your relationship? So let's get started. If you've never heard of me before, my name's Irene Alexander. I am a wife and a mom of six. Yes, that's right. It is crazy around here, but also very full of life and laughter, noise, blessings. I am a professor of Christian marriage, a certified relationship coach, and I am the founder of Adored for Life, where I help women in their 40s and 50s be pursued all over again in their marriages by restoring that emotional intimacy to the relationship. I am so excited that you're here. Now, I wanted to share a little bit about why do I do this? Like, why would you do this if you have such a large family and all these kids? Like, what actually motivates you? So, I just want to share just very, very briefly about that. And the truth is that there's been a lot of divorce in my extended family. So this is an issue that has touched me personally. I've had close friends who have separated, struggled a whole lot in their marriages. I see firsthand how much they suffer as a result of that. It's something that really breaks my heart, makes me really want to do something about it. And then, really finally, the thing that was like really the kicker for me was this is that a number of years ago, maybe 6, 7 years ago now, I started noticing that a lot of women were reaching out on Facebook, making anonymous posts about the problems they were having in their marriages. And unfortunately, this was a really toxic environment to share that. They got a lot of really bad advice and were often encouraged to divorce, which is what happened to this one woman. Um, she was a mom, she had 5 kids. They separated, they divorced, and then I remember this forever. It was the eve of her it was supposed to be their 20th wedding anniversary, but now the relationship was over, and she made this post and she said, "I you know what? I'm here, I'm alone in my apartment, like, he has the kids, I have my cats, I'm so devastated, and it wasn't supposed to be like this." And when I heard that, like, I just cried. And, like, this woman doesn't even know who I am. I prayed for her, I still pray for her. I just cried because I know what it's like to want to be loved forever in your relationship. I know what that's like, and I want every woman to have that. I don't ever want that to be somebody else's story. So, today I wanna talk about sorry, um, forgive me, I get so passionate and emotional about this. So today I wanna talk about emotional intimacy, right? So what it is, and it is the glue that bonds a marriage together, right? If you don't have this, this is why the marriage begins to fall apart. And what I wanna share with you is that intimacy in your marriage actually follows a sex-specific pattern of love, right? It's responding to the emotional needs and desires of each other's hearts, right? So it follows this pattern where you admire him and he adores you. Okay. That's how you build genuine emotional intimacy in your marriage so that you have the glue and the bond that makes your marriage last. Not just like we made it all these years, but we actually enjoy being in each other's presence. We delight in each other. We delight in delighting each other, right? And that's what I want you to have. Now, imagine for a moment that this is in the future, okay? Imagine that you're getting ready for your own son or daughter's wedding, okay? Let's say it's your daughter, you see her there getting all dressed up as a bride, you're helping her with your veil, you're there with your husband, and you just can't believe this is your little girl, your little baby girl, and she's getting married. And, you say, "Oh my gosh, doesn't she look so beautiful?" And he smiles, he's got tears in his eyes, and then he leans over to you and whispers in your ear, "You are more beautiful to me now than on the day that I married you. You're more beautiful to me now than on the day that I married you." And that's what I want you to have. That's what I want you to have in your life when you're there at your own son or daughter's wedding. So if this is something that you are interested in having and you want it you want this right now, you can apply right below this. Just do it right now. Just click open the application. You can just keep listening to the training, but just have it open and send it in. And I will show you how you can have this in your own marriage, how this is really, really possible for you. Okay, now what's the reason why couples fail to have this? What's the reason why they separate and divorce? And it comes down to this, that there's a loss of trust and respect in the relationship. Okay, there's a loss of trust and respect. And unfortunately, a lot of the methods that we've been taught, these are the ways to fix your marriage, like going to couples therapy, right? Doing talk therapy. Let's talk it out, right? And I've spoken with so many women who have done this and they have not found that it really helps. They end up just coming together and complaining about each other. He's complaining about her. He thinks it's her fault. She's complaining about him. There's like literally no trust or emotional safety or even respect for each other, right? And then they're like, okay, looks like you all are, just have irreconcilable differences. So now you should divorce. Like, if this really worked, it would have worked for the people in my life who I care about and love, and it didn't work for them. It didn't work for them. Okay, and now we know why, right? It actually hurts the emotional safety instead of building it up, right? It actually is breaking down the very thing that you're actually trying to build, right? Which is insane. It's chaos. And that's why I don't believe in it. I literally don't believe in it. Okay. And here's another problem is going to a therapist, either for yourself or for your husband, to focus on the need to heal your inner wounds, right? A lot of people think, oh, my husband has all these problems from his childhood or just different experiences he's had, traumatic experiences, and this is why he can't be a good husband. No, I'm sorry, that's wrong. That is not right. So the more you try to do this, the more he's going to hear from you. You think he's incompetent. You think he's not capable. You think he's a small, wounded child. And what he's hearing from you is, I don't trust you and I don't respect you. And that's why there's a problem. That's why there's a problem. Okay. And that's also why, okay, well, I'm talking to my own therapist. I'm getting all this advice about how my husband's taking advantage of me and I'm just too codependent and I need to fix myself in this way. No, that's not the problem. Okay. I'm going to talk to you a little bit at a deeper level what the actual problem is. Okay. I'm going to bet, in fact, I would bet probably, anything that what you're doing right now is actually harming the relationship, although you don't realize it. Okay, so I want to talk to you about the 3 C's that kill emotional intimacy. Okay, number one is criticism. Okay, if you're criticizing your man, you're like, you're being too selfish. You have this problem. You're talking to him about the things that he's doing wrong, about his immaturities. Okay, number one, that's a killer to emotional intimacy. Number two, if you are complaining to him, right? You are spending too much money. You don't make good decisions here. You are not being a spiritual leader in our home. You do not provide enough support for us. Whatever it is, your complaints are breaking down the intimacy in your relationship. And if you don't see this and correct this problem, it doesn't matter what else you do because it won't work unless you remove this part, because this is what is breaking down the trust and the respect, which is at the heart of emotional intimacy. Okay. The final one here is control. A lot of women do this and they think that they're actually sharing their needs and desires, but what's actually happening is they're being controlling. So if you're telling your man, I want you to do this, I need you to do exactly this. This is the way that it has to happen. And you feel like you are expressing your desire but he's not listening, it's because it's coming off as controlling. Okay, so these are the 3 C's that are killing emotional intimacy in your relationship, and I can guarantee you this is the actual problem, and once you get rid of this, you will see that he responds to you completely differently. Like, game changer. That's why this is why I wanna go around saying this, because your marriage can change, like, today. It can be so different from what you're experiencing right now. Okay, so the real problem is this. Okay, your man is not perfect. Like, we know this. You and I know this, right? He's human just like you. But and you saw his shortcomings. You saw that he has some flaws, right? Or maybe it's just weakness of temperament, right? And when you saw those things, they scared you. They scared you. Okay. Why? Because your fears about it are actually tied to your desires. For example, if he spends too much money, you're scared because will there not be enough for the bills or for the kids or for the things that you need that are important to your heart? So now you are speaking to him from a place of fear and not from a place of trust and respect. And that comes out in your communication with him. And so the deepest problem is that when you're communicating with him, he no longer feels that you trust him and he no longer feels your respect for him, right? That's why he's telling you, "Oh, this is your fault." And you're like, "This is crazy." Like he is the one acting so crazy. Okay? So once you can eliminate this underlying problem that there is fundamentally a loss of trust and a loss of respect in the relationship, everything changes and it changes fast. So how do we do this? Okay, here's how I do this. Number one, you need to eliminate the drama that you're experiencing right now as a result of the criticism, the complaining, the control, the lack of your belief that he's a completely capable and trustworthy man. You need to eliminate that, and you'll start to see that almost immediately he will respond to you in a very tender, loving, supportive way, and you will start getting way more of what you want. It happens so fast. Number two is to learn in detail how your man actually feels your love for him. Okay, marriage is based on the love of a man and a woman. And there are so many ways that women can be blind to the fact that the way they're asking for things, the way they're showing up in the relationship is actually pushing him away. And here's a sign of that. If he gets angry with you, if you find that he's stonewalling or he pushes you out, if you have a lot of fighting or emotional distance, you're not doing this. Okay. And this can be shifted quickly. That's why I want to tell you about it. Your life doesn't have to be like this. Your relationship doesn't have to be like this. It can be like the honeymoon phase that you had in the very beginning of the relationship. And that's what happens in step 3, where you increase tenderness and emotional intimacy, that glue that bonds the two of you together. And it is amazing. So, if you're interested in this, this is a 90-day done with you marriage program where my goal is to help you go from having a lot of emotional distance in your relationship to having joy and profound intimacy with your husband in 90 days or less. And the only caveat that I have to working with me is that you must be committed to your marriage vow. Okay, this is God's plan for marriage, the exclusivity, the permanence of marriage. And I know the reason it feels hard is because what's lacking is that emotional intimacy. But I can help you regain that, to regain it quickly so that you have the confidence that you will have this for life. So if you can't wait to have the honeymoon phase all over again in your relationship and to wake up excited to be next to the man that you married, to receive his compliments, his flowers, his loving support, sharing your hearts and hands and life together, having that emotional intimacy so that your cheeks actually hurt from smiling so much. True story. When my husband and I fell in love, I just couldn't stop smiling. Like my cheeks were actually hurting so much. And since I myself do these very same things that I teach in my own marriage, I have the same thing. I just wrote to him in our anniversary card that my cheeks are still hurting from smiling so much, being in love with him, falling in love with him. And I want to continue to do that and to grow old together with him. And you can do that too, right? You can grow old together, happy and deeply in love with one another. So apply today. I'm Irene Alexander, and let's get you cherished and adored for life. God bless you.